Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Fatin and today I will retell to you the novel that's written by William J. Coughlin with the title In the Presence of Enemies. So, first thing first, let's start with imagine a man that worth billions of dollars, a man who controls one of the most powerful financial empires in the country. Now imagine him trapped in a hospital bed, paralyzed by a stroke, unable to speak, and completely at the mercy of his stunningly beautiful, ruthless third wife. This is the world of Augustus Darren, the mastermind behind Hanover Square Bank. When Gus dies under very suspicious circumstances on a rainy Sunday in northern Michigan, he doesn't just leave behind massive fortune. He leaves behind a declaration of war. Before his body even cooled, his wife Elizabeth ordered a secret, immediate cremation. No viewing, no grand funeral. His ashes are scattered into the wind before his children even know he's gone. Why? Because a billion-dollar war is about to erupt, and Elizabeth has just pulled the pin on a legal grenade. Enter Jack Martin, a brilliant but struggling young lawyer at the prestigious Detroit firm Sperling and Beckman. Jack is desperate to make partner. His marriage to his hyper-ambitious wife, Mary, is falling apart, and his entire career hangs on this one case. Below the senior partner has Jack the ultimate assignment, defend Augustus Darren's final will. But what Jack doesn't realize is that this isn't just a standard probate case. It's a deadly game of chess where the pieces are played with blood, blackmail, and betrayal. Okay, so to understand the chaos, you need to know the players. First, we have Elizabeth Darren, nicknamed the Spider Woman. She is 39, breathtakingly beautiful and ice cold. For years, the public viewed her as a gold digger who used sex to manipulate an aging billionaire. But Elizabeth is a genius. She reveals to Jack that before Gus lost his mind, he signed a secret trust agreement. While his money split, the 51% voting control of Hanover Square Banks was entirely to her. She now holds absolute power. Second, we have Claude Diesel, the bank's CEO. Claude is a proud, arrogant man who has been running the bank in Gus's shadow. He thought Gus's death would finally make him king. When Elizabeth calls him and calmly explains that she is the new chairman of the board, Claude literally turns pale. His dream is shattered. He vows to destroy her. Third, we have Gus's estranged adult children, Chip and Gussie, flying in front of London and Florida. They are furious. They believe Elizabeth manipulated their father when he was mentally incompetent. They hire a vicious, high-profile trial lawyer to contest the will, aiming to prove that Augustus Darren was non-compos mentis, not of sound mind. At first, Jack thinks his defense is bulletproof. Why? Because he has a secret weapon, a video tape. On June 18, 1989, Gus Darren recorded a video while signing the will. On tape, despite his stroke, Gus is sharp, logical, and explicitly states that he wants Elizabeth to run the bank. Jack watches the videos and thinks we've already won, but he couldn't be more wrong. And then, as the trial approached, the battlefield shifts from the courtroom to the shadows. Claude Diesel, desperate to save his position, forms an unholy alliance with Gus's children. Together, they dig into Elizabeth's past, trying to find anything that can paint her as a criminal manipulator. But Jack is a meticulous lawyer. He begins investigating the witnesses who were present during the signing of the will. He visits Dr. Milo Faraday, the physician who certified Gus's sanity, and Rhonda Janus, Gus's lawyer private secretary. That's when things get terrifying. Jack starts noticing anomalies. Medical records from the days leading up to the will signing are missing. Dr. signing out of misery. Dr. Faraday seems incredibly nervous, asking specific questions about Goose's cognitive state. Even worse, Wanda Janice confesses to Jake in private that Goose had severe hallucinations and moments of total blackout around that time. Suddenly, Jake's perfect video feels like a stage performance. Was Augustus Darren actually a puppet, rehearsed and drugged just enough to look sane for the camera? Meanwhile, the pressure on Jake skyrockets. His own wife, Mary, leaks confidential information about the case to help her own firm, completely betraying Jack's trust. Deceived by his wife and threatened by powerful enemies, Jack realizes he is totally isolated. Anonymous warnings tell him to drop the case, or his career and his life maybe will be ruined. The trial begins, and it is a media circus. The courtroom transforms into a theater of cruelty. The prosecution unloads a barrage of evidence, painting Elizabeth as a masterful seductress who isolates a dying old man from his family. Jack fights back fiercely, using the videotape to stun the courtroom. For a moment, it looks like Elizabeth will win, but then the prosecution calls a surprise witness that blows the entire case wide open. It's Dr. Faraday. Under brutal cross-examination, the doctor breaks down and confesses. He admits that Augustus Darren was mentally incompetent. He reveals that Elizabeth didn't just ask for the will to be signed. She blackmailed him using dark secrets from his past, forcing him to medicate Goose to make him appear functional for the video. The courtroom gasps. Jack turns to Elizabeth, expecting panic, but she sits there, perfectly calm. Her face is a mask of stone. That night, Jack confronts Elizabeth at her estate. He demands the truth, and Elizabeth, realizing she no longer needs to hide it from her lawyer, smiles and telling tragic smile. She admits everything. She did orchestrate the will, but then she drops the ultimate twist. She tells Jack, "I didn't do it for the money. I did it because Goose begged me to." Elizabeth reveals that before his massive stroke, Goose discovered a terrifying truth. His children, Chip and Gussie, along with Claude Diesel, were actively embezzling millions from Hanover Square Bank and plotting to force Goose out. Goose knew that if his children inherit control, they would bleed the blank dry and destroy his life's work. Paralyzed and unable to fight them openly, Goose begged Elizabeth to do whatever it took, legal or illegal, to protect the empire from his own flesh and blood. She wasn't the gold digger. She was an executioner carrying out a dead man's final. So, she wasn't a gold digger. She was an executioner carrying out the dead man's final desperate command. Armed with this devastating truth, Jake faces a massive moral dilemma. If he exposes the children's corruption, he destroys them. But he also exposed Elizabeth's illegal manipulation. In a masterclass of legal strategy, Jake used the newly discovered evidence of the children's and Claude's massive financial fraud as leverage. Behind closed door, he forced a settlement. Claude Diesel is quietly fired in disgrace. Chip and Gussie are forced to sign away their claims to the bank in exchange for a modest payout and immunity from criminal prosecutions. The will is upheld. Elizabeth keeps absolute control of Hanover Square Bank, fulfilling her promise to Goose. Jack Martin finally gets his partnership at the firm. He divorced his treacherous wife, walking away with his career intact, but his view of the world forever changed. In the end, he realized that in the presence of enemies, justice isn't black or white, it's written in the gray areas of the law. What would you do if you were in Jack's shoes? Would you protect the empire or expose the lie? Let me know in the comments below. So that's all my retelling story about this novel. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for listening and bye bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.